There's lifestyle, there's health, there's fitness, there's beauty, there's sports, there's pet influences, there's comedy influences, there's food influences. Almost every category that you can be an influencer about, there's a category for it that you can win. The 25 winners will win in the WIBA Awards, which is actually coming up very soon in about a month's time. So it's 11th of August. The awards ceremonies are happening
Here in Limassol.
here in Limassol
At another hotel at Four Seasons.
at our friend's hotel.
And of course, anybody can get a ticket and come to this.
Anybody can come.
You know, they don't have to, it's not because they're not nominated. Anybody that is in Cyprus or close to Cyprus can travel in, stay in Cyprus in August, like an amazing time to be here and enjoy the sea and the beach. And then, of course, come to these awards and have the opportunity to mingle with all of these names. And then loads of other still really big accounts and people. So it's really good for networking.
11th of August at the Four Seasons. It's on sold out tickets.
It's going to be amazing.
I'm Farah Shammas. Welcome to Hotel Talk. We hope you enjoy listening to this friendly conversation between people connected by real life in hotels.
Yay!
Finally.
We'll warm up. Okay, everyone, today I'm here with Eddy Nassar. I don't even think I need to introduce him to you guys, but I will let him introduce himself. So, full disclosure, Eddy and I are besties from childhood, which is why it's taken 3 damn years to get him on this podcast. We're like, yeah, next week. Oh, we're busy now. We'll do it later.
I'm not important. Do the others first.
Yeah, exactly. Or you're like, I know you. I've already spoken. What am I going to talk to you about? So, we'll try to give you lots of interesting content today and maybe even some stuff that I don't know. Let's see. I was his best man.
I doubt you don't know anything about me, but yeah.
We'll just tell everyone I was his best man. I wore a tie at his wedding.
Yes, best man.
Best man.
You were the best man I could have.
Oh, and you're my best girlfriend ever, Eddy.
Stop it.
All right. Okay, dude, let's get into it. Let's tell everyone who doesn't know you a bit about you. Like, where are you from? Where were you born? Where did baby Eddy come into the world from?
So let me do it as quick as possible and as entertaining as possible. I was born in Beirut and I was brought to Cyprus when I was 6 months old because the war started back then. And my mum is Cypriot, my dad's Lebanese. So we lived in Cyprus most of the
But interesting, because your mum was also Cypriot, but also with a massive Lebanese connection.
Correct. She lived in Lebanon.
Yeah.
Her father was Cypriot, Greek Cypriot, Constantinidi.
Yeah.
Basically, we lived most of our lives here in Cyprus, went to multiple schools in Cyprus, Lebanese schools first. So Melkart, then went to Foley's, where I joined most of my friends that are still my friends right now. And I grew up in Cyprus, left around the world, but I always ended up living in Cyprus.
Yeah, Cyprus has that magnetic pull that pulls everyone back. And interesting enough, everyone listening, like a lot of our childhood friends, they live all over the place, don't they? Australia, America, UK, Europe, Lebanon. And if it's a wedding, if it's a reunion, if it's a family holiday that they have now, they all come back. It's like got this pull.
You can always go, but you'll always go back. You'll always come back to Cyprus.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pull. All our friends left, and they ended up all coming back.
Yeah.
With its goods and its bads, but it still has much more benefit to live here, especially the ones that grew up here and know Cyprus, and those who have parents and who have houses here. It's also a little bit easier that way. But for me, I just love the island. I love it ever since I was young. I grew up here, and as soon as I finished from my uni, I came back and I actually joined a company called Columbia, and I've been with Columbia ever since. So that's 24 years going through.
Show your age now. Show your age.
I'm almost your age.
You wish. You wish.
Okay, I'm a little bit older than you.
Same, but different.
Yeah, I'm a little bit older than you. But through Columbia, I did quite, I think, 7 different positions from IT to IT officer to entertainment manager to bar manager to general manager, director. I did the whole spectrum of things at the company for 24 years. And I did quite a lot of concepts here in Cyprus, including building 4 concepts that are very well known: Columbia Beach, Columbia Pier, Columbia Sound 7 Seas, which in their own right, they're landmarks for Cyprus, some of them. But recently I decided it's time for me to do my own thing now. And that's where I left a few months ago. Actually 6 months ago now. 5 months ago. After a difficult time with my mother's passing, I took it to myself and I took a decision that, you know what, it's time for me to do my own thing.
Yeah.
And that's
I
where
think
I
a lot of
that.
people have that. You see that a lot. We've seen it on this podcast, but in general in life. And I always remember a good friend of my parents saying that, okay, it was then in the 80s and talking about men, not women, but that you reach a point where you say, okay, this is it. Like, I'm either going to stay working for someone else. And it's normally at some point, he was saying like in your 40s, early 50s, say, right, that's it. This is not the home run, but this is the time where I have to make a decision. I'm going to stay working for someone, or I'm going to bite the bullet, jump, and start doing my own thing.
Yeah, and most of the people that I speak to sort of make a drastic decision. Let's call it drastic decision, but it's a big decision around that time. So that was my time.
Yeah.
And I'm now so glad that I'm doing my own thing. But more importantly, I've got time for myself.
Yeah.
Looking after my own life, my own health, spending time with family, friends that I never really had. Because
we're seeing each other more.
Well, we see each other much more now than what we do, because, you know, I juggle my day according to what I want, not according to what everybody else wants.
Yeah. That's what Michelle Obama said. If you don't take charge of your own time, someone else is going to gobble it up.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah. And I think the most amazing thing for me in your story is that you started off as an IT officer, and just by your own personality, by being authentic, by being your crazy self, that has often, and I'll laugh, has pissed off a lot of people, but the majority just love you for it. And, you know, you got to director status within this huge company. And that in itself is just amazing. And it's been really amazing to watch as well. And I can't wait to see what you're doing next. So let's get into that. So you have now launched MICA, which is part of WIBA. Tell us about both.
Right. The exciting parts.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing something that I'm more passionate about, more in my sector. So I was invited to WIBA. WIBA is the World Influencer Blogger Awards. That happens once a year in Cannes, in France. But it's basically the Oscars for influencers, content creators, and bloggers. Let's call it the Oscars for now. Just the easiest way to explain it.
Yeah, it's just a huge award ceremony with the who's who.
It's probably one of the biggest awards an influencer can get at the moment in terms of recognition for what they do. And when I went to WIBA in Cannes, I was completely shocked. I was in that room with 200 other content creators, bloggers, influencers. Obviously, I wasn't yet a content creator. I just started.
Tell everyone, how did you get there in the first place? Because
so just simply, I'm very comfortable on camera. I used to DJ. I used to do karaoke. I used to host big shows from shows with 1,000 people all the way to 10,000 people, where there was concerts that I've hosted. One with your brother, where I sang "Happy Birthday" to him. If you might remember, we sang "Happy Birthday" to your brother with 10,000 people in front of us.
Where was that? Remind me.
That was at the beer festival.
At the beer festival in Lebanon?
No, here in Cyprus, in Limassol. So we brought your brother. Yeah, you might not know that. You see, something you don't know. So I've done all that, and I'm pretty comfortable on camera. And obviously, I'm a Gemini. I'm a bit of a social butterfly, so it's easy for me to, maybe entertain you and give you some.
And we didn't say, actually, we should just do a little parenthesis here. So Eddy was, before his degree and starting in Colombia and everything, he was making extra money by DJing and karaokeing and in the tourist area at the time in Limassol and in Lebanon as well. So we were in both countries together. Just like constantly entertaining people. That's what you did.
That's what I did.
Really, you were the entertainer.
Yeah. And with that background, plus everything I had learned, everything I'd learned in the hospitality industry.
Exactly.
And today's social media world, I put them together. Perfect. And I'm doing now my own content in my own way. Of which I'm starting with content about Cyprus, but it's not just going to be about Cyprus, but we'll start with Cyprus.
Yeah, we've seen, anyone following your account can see. So it has been all about Cyprus, but now we're getting like snippets of you coming out, which those are the ones I'm like, I already know that. But for everyone else, I think it's really interesting. Yeah.
It can't be just about Cyprus. I mean, Cyprus is a very important subject for me.
But it will be about lots of things.
But obviously there'll be other things coming up.
And probably as well, because you had your YouTube before, which had all of like your techie world. We've always laughed, guys, all our lives. So this is not my world. My brain just goes into static as soon as Eddy starts talking about ID.
Farah's brain goes, shh, and she doesn't understand anything.
Yeah, and that's it. I'm just like, Eddy, fix it. I can't. But yeah, so I'm sure we'll see some of that as well. Some unboxing.
You'll see some different kind of content.
Yeah.
So unboxing, tech world is important as well. And I did a video on how to build a GPU mining rig, and I got 500,000 views for that.
I'm already like, shh.
You've already zoned out? Okay. And the minute that she heard the word G in GPU, she just zoned out. What am I cooking for tonight?
Yeah. Did I get that for the kids?
So yeah, I don't think it's going to be too much techie. It's going to be more about what's going on today in the world of social media. But still,
there's stuff that's relevant to everyone, like whether that's the new phone or some, I don't know, remote control that helps us. I don't know, something that we can all understand.
If it's tech that I think that should be out there, I'll come up with it. But my focus is WIBA, which going back to WIBA. So when I entered this room with all these big, huge content creators, big accounts, I'm talking 50 million plus followers. So I felt very small in that room because these guys were huge and I was no one. I just went there as a guest. But every single one of them spoke to me and every single one of them took photos and they actually took time to just be, hey, where are you from? What you do? I felt like a friend to them all. And by the end of the evening, I had some of the world's biggest influencer accounts as friends of mine that are following me. And I'm, talking to them and we're DMing. I'm like, whoa, okay, this is power. There's a lot of power that happens in this room. And it came to me that, we need to do this in Cyprus. So obviously I spoke to the owners of WIBA and told them, look, can we do this in Cyprus? Yes, we're expanding also regionally. They're already expanding. They're already in New York, in Dubai, in Mauritius, and in all these other countries. So they were considering to actually open up in the Mediterranean. So they said, well, it's up for grabs. And I said, I want it. And I bought the franchise for the Mediterranean, which currently includes Cyprus, Greece. In the future, it will also include countries like Malta, Lebanon. So it's the Mediterranean Awards.
So they then make that name for you, or you made it? So the MICA part was then...
No, MICA is a separate thing. So we haven't touched MICA now.
So we're still on WIBA.
We're still on WIBA, which is the award ceremony for the best influencers, content creators, bloggers of the region. Mm-hmm. So WIBA Mediterranean is that.
Okay.
So anyone who is a content creator, blogger, influencer that is really, and let me just clear that out. If that is your profession, it's not just something on the side that you do, when you're out and with your friends in public.
Like I had this for breakfast.
Because everyone with a phone is a creator. Let's get this clear. We are all creators. Okay? We can all create content. If I come now and take a photo of you right now, right here, okay, it's content. So I'm a content creator.
Yeah.
Everybody's a content creator. So it's nothing special to be a content creator. It's just some people.
And we can see that more and more. Like a lot of people label themselves as that, but really, they're not doing anything that fabulous or.
Well, I was just about to explain that just because you're a content creator doesn't mean you're doing it as a profession.
Yeah.
If you take a photo of what you did or what you ate today, you're a content creator, but it doesn't mean that's your profession. That's not what you do. You're not creating content for the world. You're creating content for your friends, for whoever wants to follow you. That's obviously something separate to what we're talking about. We're talking about people that their lives, they wake up and that's all they're doing. From the minute that they wake up to they sleep is a full-time job of content creation. So there's strategy involved. There's what we're filming. There's probably a team with them, scripting, editing. That's what I mean by content creators. And obviously bloggers that do it in their own way. They talk about a specific subject that they love or they want to talk about or they want to make it public to people. And influencers is, let's say, the people who actually have enough momentum to influence your decision on something, whatever it is. So if you are in Cyprus, one of those, then WIBA might pick you out for an award if you're following some guidelines, of course. and if you have the requirements, so you could get an award. So
what are the guidelines? I'm interested.
So, well, the guidelines are you can't have any fake followers. If you have fake followers, purchased followers, you won't even come up on the radar. You have to have a certain amount, which is a bare minimum for you to be accepted. But it's not so much of how many followers you have. That's not important at all today anymore. You could have 2 million followers and you're not active, or your content is just not good anymore. And you could have someone with 10,000 followers that literally 5,000 of his followers are following them every day. So he's got 50% retention, or 50% of his followers follow. That's a much stronger account than 1 million that only 5,000 is following in that case. So it's not really about how many followers you've got. It's more about how strong and how good your content is, how relevant is it, and how many people are watching it, from where are they watching it, who's watching, how long are they watching it for, are they sharing it, are they commenting, are they saving it, is it something valuable for them? So that's where content is today being judged. So that's what different.
Yeah, algorithms change all the time.
All the time. So. The algorithm will change according to, again, the algorithm is nothing but us. We are the algorithm. So it's our behavior towards that content. So if something comes out and it's interesting for me, the algorithm will react to that. Okay, that was interesting for this guy because something interesting. So the algorithm readjusts according to what content's out and what people's trends are. And that's how it works. So in terms of how you can be voted for an award, it goes through all the accounts in Cyprus, all the accounts in Greece, okay? You got about 68 people working, just scouring all the accounts, making sure that they pick the right one. And there's 20, 25 categories. So there's lifestyle, there's health, there's fitness, there's beauty, there's sports, there's pet influences, there's comedy influences, there's food influences, acting. So almost every category that you can be an influencer about, there's a category for it that you can win. And they check in these categories, okay, so who are the ones that fit that criteria? And they will choose according to the requirements and the criteria. And that's how the 25 winners will win in the WIBA Awards, which is actually coming up very soon, in about a month's time. So it's 11th of August, the awards ceremony is happening.
Here in Limassol.
Here in Limassol.
At another hotel at Four Seasons.
At our friend's hotel.
You see, but everything is hotel talk.
At Four Seasons
like
Hotel.
There's always a hotel connection. Yeah. That's the whole point of this podcast. It's amazing how hotels really bring people together as community hubs.
Absolutely.
And I love it, yeah.
But actually, St. Raphael is involved as well in this.
Of course, we're always involved.
You're hosting some of the superstars coming from abroad.
Well, these are our friends. Nick, we love you. He's been on this podcast as well. But yeah, we're hosting some of them, yes.
There's some big names coming to this award. Now, obviously, we want to award the guys who are worked so hard, but also we're bringing guests that have already been awarded at WIBA Cons.
And they're massive.
And they're quite big. I mean, the biggest name we have is Gianluca Vacchi. He's otherwise known as the dancing millionaire.
Come on, he's so cool. His videos are just mesmerizing. Like, he makes me I'm like, I want to do that. I want to do a headstand and dive off a boat with a backflip. And
so he won an award in Cannes. And so...
And he's been in Cyprus before. Again, there's always Cyprus connection. He comes in, DJs at Guaba. And,
he's quite huge. So he's on 44 million followers total account.
Yeah.
His wife, his beautiful wife, Sharon Fonseca, she will also be joining him. From what I understand, she's also quite big, 6.8 million.
Yeah, she's big as well.
However,
and they've got a baby as well.
Yes, you follow him well, huh?
Yeah.
There's other big names as well, like this is very good for the Russian and the Ukrainian community. Angela Pearl, who is an astrologer, and she talks about zodiacs and all that, and people that know her love her, absolutely love her. I mean, I met her and I love her, I have to say. And I didn't know she was, but when I met her, I loved her. She's such a genuine, positive, full of energy person that a lot of people want to see her. Also, just recently, we've announced one more addition to the, let's say, high accounts, high celebrity accounts. So we've got the biggest account who won just this year. His name is Panda Boy, and he's got 77 million followers, total following. He's huge also on YouTube, 56 million followers on YouTube. I mean, these numbers are unheard of.
Yeah.
So he's also coming. So these three big names are coming. And why are they coming? They're coming to give awards They're coming to give awards to our influencers here in Cyprus, Greece.
And of course, anybody can get a ticket and come to this.
Anybody can come.
You know, they don't have to. It's not because they're not nominated. Anybody that is in Cyprus or close to Cyprus can travel in, stay in Cyprus in August. Like an amazing time to be here and enjoy the sea and the beach. And then, of course, come to these awards and have the opportunity to mingle with all of these names, and then loads of other still really big accounts and people. So it's really good for networking.
So what happens is what I first started telling you, when I was in that room, I felt so special with all these creators. So it's that easy, you know, if you are in that event with all these guys around you, you're one of them. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
You're in that room. You have access to literally everyone that's in that room. Yeah. Whether it's, you know, one of the big names or one of the influencers that you follow and you love watching, they'll be in that room, which means most probably they will talk to you. They will
exactly, you know, and we'll both flick our hand at Eddie, and we'll both be there. Well, do the thing with our thousands of followers.
Yes, absolutely. I'm sure that people are coming for us. Not. But saying that, anyone can come. The tickets are on sold out tickets, and you can just get a ticket and come. There is very limited seats, so it's only 250 people.
Yes,
and there's already 80 of them are influencers, content creators. So
that are confirmed, let alone the others that are confirmed.
So we're talking about 150 tickets. So those who are interested in this field and want to be part of this glamorous night, just go get a ticket. And when I say glamorous, this is a red carpet tuxedo, all out night where you're going to have to get into your safe and get your most expensive jewelry out. You get your most expensive clothes out, your shoes, you come with your car. It is going to be full of photographers, videographers. It is Cannes replicated in Cyprus. So you can just imagine the glamour and the glitz about this event.
And the feeling and the atmosphere is definitely, and that's what life is all about now. It's about the experience. Yeah. Like, this is not something you're going to forget quickly.
And this is not something that's ever happened in Cyprus on this level. And the amount of followers that will be in that room, if you put them all together, is 180 million followers in one room.
That's insane.
This has never happened in Cyprus, to have an event, a function, or anything in Cyprus that has so many eyeballs all in one place. And is by far the biggest momentum for us for Cyprus, because just think about how many accounts will see this event, will know that it's happening in Cyprus.
And post their stories and reels and things and just promote and just really showcase, again, we're talking about authenticity, but how amazing Cyprus is. Like, it is a great place.
It's fantastic. And we're so happy that we're doing it in Cyprus. I mean, WIBA Mediterranean could have happened in any of the other countries. Yeah. It could have happened in Greece. It could have happened in Malta. It could have happened in any of the Mediterranean countries. But it was chosen to be Cyprus this time. Hopefully everything will go well so that we can do it every single year.
Yeah.
And it won't be August. August was a very specific case this year because some of the guest stars could not make the other dates. So August is this year, but next year it will most probably be either something like in April or November, an easier month where hotels are available and everything's not so expensive and there's not too much going on.
Yeah, and don't forget, everyone, you can come and stay at San Rafael.
Absolutely.
So if you've listened to this, do message us and say, I listened to the reel and give me special rates, and we will. So, from all influencers you've met so far then, by going to Cannes and seeing, like, being in such a room and through this work, who's someone that maybe is not the biggest, but has impressed you the most? Like, that you're like, wow, like, I'll really remember that person. Or
look, when I walked into that room, I saw, actually, he's a Turkish chef. Very well known.
I already knew this, by the way, everyone.
Well, the only reason is because I walked in and he was right in front of me. It's Burak. I know some people might thought it was going to be Nusret. Nusret won an award 2 years before that. So Burak was in front of me. If you don't know Burak, it's CZN. He's got restaurants in Dubai, all over now, and he's fantastic. He's very well known because what he does is he looks at the camera, he smiles, and he just chops things, and you're thinking he's going to chop his hand, and he's just smiling, and you feel like, did he chop his hand? So he got very famous. So he basically came up to me and he just started speaking to me. He's like, hello. I said, can I take a photo? He's like, yeah, of course, my friend. And he's like, hey, where are you from? I said, I'm from Cyprus. He's like, oh, I'm from Turkey. You're my brother. I'm like, well, not exactly, but tonight we're
let's
brothers.
go with it. Yeah.
Tonight we're brothers, so we hugged each other. And actually, he became a really cool guy, and we still chat, and he's a great guy. So it's ironic how borders, politics is completely out of the window. We don't care about any of that. When you're doing your profession, which is in this case content creation, bloggers or influencer, it transcends all borders. And you're just all one. You're all for the same aim, which is to show your passion. And at the end of the day, we love what we're doing, and that's all that matters. The rest is not important for us.
Yeah. So, okay, let's get into MICA then. So we've said about WIBA. That's the awards.
Everything about WIBA.
Everyone, book your ticket now. The links are all there in the notes. 11th
of August at the Four Seasons. It's on sold out tickets.
It's going to be amazing. Okay, and now tell us about MICA.
So WIBA was created, and then we thought, and this also came from WIBA Global, they said, well, you need to have an association where all the content creators of Cyprus can join. Even the ones that are not getting awards or the ones that are getting awards, doesn't really matter. But you've got so many content creators in Cyprus that have either just started or have already started quite a while ago and have a lot of followers. You need to create an association where they can come up, meet up, and talk like a community. So we created this, which is called MICA, Mediterranean Influencers and Creators Association, where basically it's a community that we meet once a month somewhere. Every time we meet in a place. And
we've had one event at Golden Monkey.
I was just going to say one of the events was at the Golden Monkey and the Towers. It was a fantastic event. So every single month we meet in a different place. And what we do is we network. We talk about what's going on in the algorithm, what's going on in the industry, what's working, what's not working. Where did you have success and where did you not? So it's the only time where content creators can actually group up and talk about that subject that collectively, the subject that they can't really talk about with their mothers, brothers, friends, cousins, because they're not really that involved. They're not really content creators like them. So it's a place where they can come and be vulnerable as well. Like talk about, okay, I've had the problem with this. How did you solve it? And, there's someone that knows what they're talking about. And a lot of the times what happens in this community meetups is there's so much work that happens. So people give each other work to each other. Like, I'm very busy this month. Maybe you can handle this. And I've had this and maybe you should do this. So there's a lot more work happening within these communities. And what happens is the most important part is the support for each other. So you don't feel like, oh, I'm alone. I'm doing content and how do I do this? I'm wondering if this will work. No, you don't need to think that. You've got a community, and if you've got something you want to ask, you ask the community. The community of content creators will come back to you and tell you, look, yes, this will work, this will not. Maybe try this, maybe try that. So you have people who are part of your community guiding you in what you're doing.
And just sharing inspirational stories. I mean, I know the event that you organized here. I mean, Vlad, who's been on this podcast as well, was sharing, his stories with his YouTube videos and, how something became successful and no one else thought it would. And it was just really inspiring and interesting. So there's lots.
So you've had Vlad on this. I mean, Vlad is the biggest account in Cyprus and Greece. He is massive. I mean, those who know Vlad, they either love him or hate him, but, I love him. And so Vlad is a good example. Many of the content creators in the room know Vlad because they see, but they don't really know him. And Vlad I have to say this, he's a genius. And I've had a podcast with him as well. And we discussed how he started, just like you did, and what he became. But to go through what he went through, he learned a lot.
Yeah,
and he knows what works, what doesn't. And he knows the algorithm pretty well. He understands it like we understand a foreign language. He understands it as a language. So Vlad's always also in our community. So people come up to him and say, Vlad, I'm trying to do this. What do you think? And Vlad will give him. And
there's also trial and error. Like, we forget that. Like, we need those failures to become successful and know the
But if you've got a room full of people that have already failed and can help you fail less, and any of the big content creators, for instance, in our association, we have Ricardo, who talks about his journey on coming from Germany and starting his tax one and all his journey. We've got Stephanie P, who has had an amazing journey. I mean, if you follow her, I absolutely love Stephanie and her her journey. Pan, who was on your show as well, Pan Dragomir, Theo. We've got all these beautiful accounts. We've got Stefanos Michael, who's an actor on Cypriot and Greek TV. With people like Watch Anish, who's an international star who talks about watches, and he's a freaking expert on anything to do with watches. And everybody just sees him as like, oh my God, he's the watch guy. I mean, all these accounts are there. I call them accounts, but they're people. But all these big accounts are there that you can talk to during this community meetup of MICA that we have and exchange.
So MICA's there as a community for influencers from Cyprus, and obviously then hopefully they're all part of the WIBA Awards as well, whoever's around and can come.
They want to join the WIBA Awards ceremony, whether they're nominated for an award or not. This has nothing to do with it. So just because you're a MICA member doesn't mean you're going to get a WIBA award.
Absolutely.
Let's just clarify that.
Yeah. And what's next? So what's next for...
So what's next is obviously WIBA is a yearly thing. So this is the first year. There's a lot of question marks going on. How to do this in Cyprus, because obviously WIBA Global know how to do it in Cannes. They know how to do it in different countries. But Cyprus is a very special country. It has very specific sets of rules.
We love it.
And we're discovering everything that we need to do to make this event, as successful. And obviously the first year will be the first year, irrespective of what happens. Then the second year will come, then the third year. And eventually, it'll catch on to be something pretty strong in the community. So that's my main aim, WIBA for the future. And obviously to add more countries. So I do have to say, we did not include Lebanon in the award ceremony. However, in the last few months, WIBA Global have mentioned that they want to include winners from Lebanon, because there's some really great accounts in Lebanon, and some of them do need to be awarded.
Yeah, so it needs to be recognized.
So there is a number of Lebanese influencers that will be winning awards in the August award ceremony. Obviously, we can't disclose it right now, but there's some big accounts coming to Cyprus from Lebanon that are going to be winning awards. Actually, some of them might be staying at the St. Raf.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. So that's in terms of WIBA. MICA is an agency, or let's call it an association, which is also an agency in the future. Right now, it's just an association, meaning it's just a community.
It's a community, yeah.
But at a later stage, once WIBA's finished, it will be developed into an agency, meaning if you do want to sign up to the association or to the agency, you can. And if you are either struggling to find jobs or you've got too much jobs and you want to offload, then the agency will help you do that. And if you want big accounts to come knocking on your door, it'll come through us. So usually restaurants and bars will come and knock on your door directly if you're a small influencer. But the big accounts, the ones with the big cash, they will probably look for bigger accounts. But today, it's not only the big accounts that are influencing; it's the smaller accounts that have much more strength today than the big accounts, because
it's a niche, and they're really following. Like, people really follow.
Absolutely, and the smaller accounts have more loyal fans, let's say, or loyal subjects, loyal viewers that will listen to them and will more likely. So if a small account goes to Golden Monkey, let's say, and tries it, it's more likely that the 10,000 people that follow him or her will be influenced by that trip to Golden Monkey, rather than a big account that has 1 million followers all over the world that is irrelevant for Cyprus Golden Monkey in this case, let's say.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that your Golden Monkey?
These were 4. I bought them in Thailand. And they were originally going to go in the restaurant, but then
keep them here.
I didn't have space for it, and then they were quite cool here. So everybody asked about these monkeys in this podcast studio, but they're cool.
So they're the Golden Monkeys.
So, okay, so from like all in your experience then so far, like meeting all these influencers, obviously you yourself have become a content creator and are doing some amazing, amazing reels. I'm so proud of you, Eddy. So what would be your biggest tip for listeners, like who want to get into proper professional content creation? What would be your biggest tip?
So look, I don't want to talk here as if I'm the experienced content creator that I've been doing it for 20 years. I haven't. I've just literally started. I would say I've started it 5 months ago. Now, I do have some advantage, which is I'm comfortable on camera. I'm comfortable on the mic. My English is pretty easy to understand. And I'm quite confident in the sense that my content that's coming out there is something that I think people will be interested in. So I do have a few advantages, but that comes with experience and, let's say, age and what I've done. I do have some disadvantages as well. It's because I am experienced, and because I will miss some opportunities that the younger generation will see, and it's actually much more interesting. So I'm not the person who's going to guide new content creators or influencers, but what I can tell you from what I already know in the last 5 months is, if you want to do content creation on a serious level, you do need to take it seriously. It's not something that you can just do, oh, I'll do it on the side and I'll continue my life. So you can do that, and you can get lucky. You could throw one video out and it could go viral. And many people have done that. They've done it part-time, and one of their videos went viral, went 1, 2, 3 million, 10 million, whatever.
Well, that's what we had that with Rishi, who, is from India. And that's what she's a massive.
And that's fine. But you know what? That one video that went viral will do nothing for you. I mean,
no, it was after that she then went, okay, now it's big enough.
Right. So
I'm good enough, and now I can quit. And then eventually her partner also quit, and they went into that.
So that's
but they did it simultaneously at the beginning, just to have that comfort. Zone.
So that is the deciding factor. So you could do it part-time. You can get, it doesn't mean that you're going to make it, but if you do get that viral hit, it's sort of a sign like, hey, maybe I should take this seriously. Maybe I should. I'm not saying for all people to stop work and leave school and leave uni.
Ricardo, I mean, he's got his work, and then he does this as well to balance and complement. So it's about cross-marketing.
So absolutely. So there's a compromise with what you're doing, and if you can tie it in with something you're doing, it's great. But it's not something that a lot of people think, oh, I can just, take it lightly. It's not. If you want to take it seriously, and the reason why I'm saying that is because you're competing with every single person in the world. Every single person with a phone is your competitor. For the content, maybe your content might be better, great, but maybe the other person's content might be more interesting because they're spending more time on scripting it, they're spending more time on researching it, they're spending more time about thinking of how to deliver it, and so on and so forth. So the person that actually gives it more time will probably give better results. Of course, there's flukes all the time. Somebody could get famous for, I don't know, drinking a glass of water, dropping it on himself, and choking and then swallowing that mic by mistake, and that'll go viral. It's a fluke. It'll happen once. You probably will not be able to repeat it, but you can't really repeat that kind of content too much. So flukes are there all the time. But if you do want to take it seriously, you do want to grow your followership, and you want to grow it with people who are loyal to you, because someone was talking about it very recently about, it's very easy to make comedy content. I mean, I love my souvlaki, Peter Kipri, Cyprus who's also, you've probably had all of them here. So Peter, I love him. He's amazing. He's a great guy, and his content is hilarious. But the people that follow Peter are there for the comedy. So, and he has to constantly make them laugh, or else he will lose his followership and he will lose the momentum. But if Peter comes and wants to push something, whatever it is, it's going to be more difficult for him as a comedian to push that, rather than someone like Ricardo, who's doing business, who's doing tax, who's doing relocation if you're coming from abroad to Cyprus. So when he tells you need to do ABC, more likely people will follow what he's saying rather than what Peter's saying, only because of the type of content that they're releasing. So the type of content is very important. So anyone can do comedy. But if you do comedy and you grow, will you have influence? Will you be able to guide someone to where they want to go? Maybe not. And unless you're continuously doing comedy, it'll be very difficult. So let's take Vlad. Great example. Vlad is an amazing person in what he does. He does fantastic pranks, dressed up as a woman, goes up, exposes people. Great. If all of a sudden now we have to have Vlad as Vlad selling you this golden monkey, it's going to be a little bit different in terms of the people that are watching. Like, why is that guy trying to sell me a monkey? That's not why I'm following him for.
His brand,
That's not what I'm following for. I'm following him for the comedy factor. So, and Vlad will never want to sell you this monkey, by the way. Vlad is what he does. It's his passion. But what I'm trying to point out is that what road you're taking into what category, let's say, you're following will be important to what's your final outcome.
So think about it. Take it seriously.
Yeah, take it seriously. But it has to be fun. If you're not enjoying, the content, don't do it. If it's something that you think you have to do it, don't do it. Definitely don't do it. I mean, if it's something that you're so comfortable doing content, watching it, and really getting involved, it has to be a passion. And it's not a passion for everybody. Not
at all.
Not everybody likes to be in front of the camera.
And also, but that's why there's a different way of having accounts. You know, you can have accounts where you're not in front of the camera, and that's fine. You're showcasing something else or products, and it's your voice, or you know, there's different ways of being successful within it. So
and what's the one thing that people don't realize is once you do start to make it, and once viewers start to comment, the comments are not always nice. You're going to have to be able. You're going to have to be able to take all the hate. You're going to have to be able to take all the negatives. And a lot of people crash when they start seeing, oh my God, why are people saying that? I don't want that. Too much attention. And they panic and they're like, oh no, I'm stopping. If you haven't grown a bit of a tough skin on you, you probably won't survive the journey.
Yeah, and we've got to protect our kids. That's the main thing. Yeah. Like, I don't mind. They can fire anything they want at me, but yeah, don't touch my babies.
Well, that's the thing. They can fire anything at you, but can they fire anything at, a 16-year-old, 18-year-old, 19-year-old? Exactly. Or even younger,
but that's
like your children.
That's why I think they shouldn't go on at a young age. Actually, I had that last night. So just last night, my phone rang, and it was quite late. It was like 10, I think, and it was from Christos, who Bisiodis, who was just on this podcast. We released it, I think, last week, and he is a famous chef that is the only Greek chef that's cooked for Obama and Clinton, and the reel was really nice that went with it, and loads of like really good comments. And he called me, okay, I don't know what time it was in the States, but he's like, oh, Farah, can you just delete like some comments? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Why? Because I don't check Insta all the time. So I was like, oh, what's happened? He's like, yeah, some asshole basically has gone on and started commenting about his mother, and like his mother sells himself for a penny and I don't know what. And I was like, you know what, so just ignore it. It's okay. It's all good. Yeah. Like, you know who you are. I will delete it and I will block this guy, but it's okay. You know, there's always going to be people who are jealous. So, you've got a beautiful family. It was an amazing episode, really. Guys, if you haven't listened to that episode, please do, where he talks about bipolar, about the success, about the attention, about literally having not 2 pennies in his pocket and then getting to where he got to, not speaking English when he got to America. I mean, amazing. Okay, if some people want to, try and bring someone down with that, let them.
And those that are not ready for it need to realize that you will not grow unless you're getting hate comment. If you're not getting hate comment, it means you're not alive. You're not doing it right. Yeah. Hate comment comes with success. It's definitely, and the hate comment is not really hate about you. It's more about someone just wants to find somewhere where he can voice whatever bull he wants to talk about or she wants to talk about. It's just somewhere where they just want to vent because obviously either their family is not talking to them or their friends are not talking to them or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So they go online and they're like, oh, I'm an event here. And they give you that, whatever it is. Usually it has nothing to do with what your content is.
No.
But
just miserable people.
But sometimes it is. And some people get affected by it. So these are the things that you need to know before you embark on this journey, that you will be attacked. You will be you will be belittled, and you just have to take it. And a lot of the times you just have to say, well, whatever, that comment, although it's a bad comment, it's a good comment from me. And when you can change that mindset to say, whatever comment is coming down, irrespective of how bad it is, it's good for me. And that will happen when the viewers start protecting you. When the viewers start responding and they start saying, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I've had that on TikTok.
When they start to respond, then that's where the algorithm starts to work to your benefit. So actually, hate comment, or let's call them negative comments, is a must. You have to have them, because if you don't have them, you don't have one of your loyal fans responding. Therefore, the algorithm will be like, well, people are not really commenting on this. They're not fighting. It's not important. I'm not going to show it to another 1,000 people. And that's how the algorithm works. If it sees that there's a lot of action going on there, people are commenting, it's like, oh, this is a hot video, I'm going to push it to another 1,000 video, and so on and so forth. That's how predominantly you expand. So these are the things I've learned now in the last 5 months. So you did ask.
Which is why sometimes people put out that controversial reels and subjects and topics, and it's not even that they believe in that, but they do it on purpose. So people say, what are you talking about?
Absolutely.
And,
so someone will come and say, the sea is red.
Yeah.
You know, and like, what are you talking about? But just that statement will cause so much negative comments that actually that will drive that statement, even though it's a completely random statement.
Yeah.
You know, but and because you did ask me what advice I give. So currently I'm in the process of learning. And the reason why I've started doing content myself is because I want to learn how the algorithm is thinking. And with every month, I understand. With every video I post, I understand a little bit better. With every comment, with my insights, and I see what's working, what's not. I'm starting to understand what it wants and what it wants from me. Because what it wants from me is not what it wants from you.
Yeah.
Every person is different.
100%. Even the posting hours, I can see the difference. Like what's recommended, but then for me and my followers, when I post at that time, it doesn't work. It works at a different time, and
there is no standard for everybody. Each person has their own way the algorithm will push and will not. So by me, the only way to do that is to post 100 videos. Once you post 100 videos, at least you start to understand what sticks and what doesn't work for you. Like I can wake up one day and say, I really want to do content about this. And I do it. And I look at the insights, I'm like, actually, that's not really for me. So I might have been hyped about it, but the result is, but people don't really want to see that. And I could do something completely silly and say, oh, this is not going to really work. And I wake up in the morning, it's like 100,000 views. Like, okay, so this is what the algorithm wants from me. And when I say algorithm, it's what the people, because
I always love, it's like menus. It's the same thing. And you in the restaurant business, we do design menus and we're like, that is going to sell like a hotcake. And then you do your menu engineering after the first season. You're like, I only sold 6 of them. And then you put something else on and you're like, oh, that's, every restaurant does that. It's not really anything.
Absolutely.
Well, then you sell it thousands.
So that's what I'm doing right. That's what I'm doing right now.
People, because it's people driven.
Absolutely.
And now it's stranger than fake.
So
you can't, All right. So Eddy, favorite quotes. I ask everyone this.
Before I finish with the favorite quote, because I just want to tell you where I'm going with this.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So as a content creator that has just started, what I want to do is I want to grow my account to, let's say, 50,000, 100,000. And by then I would have had the knowledge that I wanted. So when you ask me that question again, I want to be able to tell you things that are even more precise, more correct. And what I would like to do when I reach that is I would like to help others grow. So for now, I'm learning. But when I reach a milestone, which might be 50,000, which might be 100,000, that's when I'm going to be able to give you this advice, give you these lessons in the future. So just wanted to wrap that up. And
then you'll do that with what, like retreats? Or
well, either I do it with retreats, I'll do it online, or masterclass, or, one-on-ones, and I think because at the point where I am with all the experience I have in life, in hospitality and all that, I want to give back to the community. And what I'm learning now, I want to give it back. And from now until then, things are going to change also. Everything's going to change.
It changes all the time, especially in this crazy digital world.
Absolutely. So that is my sort of aim. So my 3 aims is WIBA on one side, the award ceremony once a year. MICA is the Association of Influencers. And me as a personal brand, as Eddy, as a content creator who is making it now, to be able to have a one-on-one, whether it's online, whether it's a retreat, or maybe a day at the St. Raph where you all come for 3-4 days and we do workshops. Yep.
Let's do it.
That's my plan.
Yay.
Favorite quote?
Favorite quote. Let's go.
It's a bit of a giveaway. I've already said it a few times in my bios and all that. But I really believe in build it and they will come.
Build it and they will come.
And although that is actually from a movie, Field of Dreams, that was if you build it, he will come, which is a different scenario where a dead baseball player that everybody loved, and was it Kevin Costner? Not Kevin Costner.
No, I think so. Wasn't it Kevin Costner?
What was his name? The main actor? Oh, I can't remember. It'll come to me. He gets these voices in his head saying, "Build it, he will come. Build it, he will come." And he's like, "What? Who's talking to me? And what's this?" And eventually he understands that he has to build a baseball field in the middle of a field. And he, the dead baseball player, the famous one, will come. And he builds it, and all these dead baseball players show up, and they stop playing baseball like dead. But they stop as ghosts. And so that's the movie. With me, build it, they will come is If you build something good, people will come. But the problem is, you think about it, but you don't build. Just build it, whatever it is.
Don't procrastinate. Just do it.
It could be a restaurant, it could be a bar, it could be a club, it could be a community, it could be content creation, whatever it is you're thinking about, build it, and they will come. This is my favorite quote.
I love it. Oh, I'm already throwing papers out. Okay, a few papers left. Bonus question. So let's see. One of the team at the hotel. Well, everyone gets the chance to write questions. So let's see what you got.
So I got, how do you handle stress or pressure in high-stakes situations? Sotos.
Was
this the guy that was just here?
Yeah, he was just here.
Right. So
that's quite a good one for you.
This one's for everyone.
Yeah.
Every single person in life will go through stress and pressure points, and nobody's immune to it. There's no such thing as being immune. In fact, if you're too immune, there's something wrong with you, because that means nothing bothers you, means there's another problem with you. And I've had pressure all through my life, literally all through my life growing up, and I've had stress. And the way I deal with it is, first of all, practice. So the more pressure you have, the more you deal with it. Every time you have a pressure point of something goes wrong, and obviously you're stressed, you need to solve it. The more you go through that, the better you become at handling the pressure, and the less stressful things become. Now, I'm not saying go through a lot of pressure points so that you can deal with it, but this is how I managed to build a high threshold of tolerance for pressure, and I can handle stress. Now, stress comes, in my opinion, with not knowing what to do. Stress comes with when you don't know the answers to something. So you're in an accident. That's where, let's take an accident. Let's say a car accident, not fatal, just a car accident. You come out of the car and there's things going on. Stress comes because you don't know what's the next. What do I do? Oh my God. Oh, is my father, my mother going to hate me? Is my this? Is my that? Who's going to pay for it? And all these question marks start bombarding you. And that's what builds up the stress. And oh my God, how am I going to get to work? So when you start building answers to those questions, your stress level sort of starts lowering. And my advice for anyone that's going through that is take a deep breath, whatever it is, and say to yourself, before you do anything, say, you know what, whatever it is, it's going to be okay. Now, let me see how I'm going to solve this. So how am I going to tell my mother? I'm just going to tell my mother, look, I had an accident. As long as I'm alive, she'll be okay. How am I going to tell my boss? How am I going to get to work? It's okay. It's not the end of the world. It's basically, we sit and stress about things that are so unimportant. And we give all our health to things that are so ridiculously minute compared to your life. The most important thing in your life is your health. Nothing else. In my opinion, your health is the most important thing. And the health of others, of course. But if you're not healthy, how are you going to help others? So your mental state of, you know what, I'm not going to let this accident destroy me or destroy this day. I'm going to try to solve it. Okay. How? Okay. So what's the problem? Call the insurance company. Okay. Yes, I rammed into you. My fault. I take full responsibility. Stop shouting at me. I'm telling you, I'm responsible for it. I'll fix your car. Okay. And start dealing with that at that point. But knowing at the back of your mind, that's not the end of the world. It's just an accident. It happens to every single person, every single second around the world. You're going to be fine. And once you can build that mindset, which is very difficult, especially for people of just going into stress now, just going into pressure points right now. But for me, I think practice made perfect. So you can throw anything at me now.
And break it down. Yeah. You can break that big problem into the smaller segments.
I don't know if I answered your question, but that's
how
I deal with it.
Yeah, I love it. Eddy, thank you so much. Wishing you all the best and every success. And you will be back again at another time and we'll discuss more. But for now, this was a good intro.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy that you've invited me here, and I'm very happy to have been able to speak first about myself and the whole content creation journey and WIBA and MICA, of course. And I want to do a catch-up once WIBA's finished.
Yeah.
Once the community's bigger and once my personal brand as well has gotten to a level where we can talk more about it.
Yeah, definitely. We will.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I hug you?
Yeah, sure.
Do you hug everyone or just me?
No.
Thank you for listening, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button because it helps us more than you may realize. If you are planning on coming to visit us at St. Raphael Resort and Marina, feel free to email our reservations team quoting Hotel Talk and receive an exclusive offer just for you. We look forward to seeing you soon, hearing your feedback about our show, and producing many, many more interesting episodes just for you, our listener, and our valued guest in mind. Thank you so much, and take care.